Year 2002, sequence and series. It's a paper 2. Calculator is allowed. Maximum mark 11. Ashley and Billy are swimmers training for a competition. Ashley trains for 12 hours in the first week. She decides to increase the amount of time she spends training by 2 hours each week. So every week she is increasing duration by 2 hours. So it's a constant difference by 2 hours. Find the total number of hours she spends during the first 15 weeks. So basically they want a total means what sum. And it's a constant 2 hours, so it's an arithmetic progression. So let's start with the first week. She started with 12. As I said total, so you have to add. Next week would be 14 because added by 2. Next week would be 16. This will continue up to total 15th week. So U15, we don't know about U15. We don't need also. So clearly this is my U1, which is 12. Difference is 2. I want to find total, so it is a sum. Sum formula is n over 2. N is 15, so 15 over 2. Bracket 2 times U1, so 2 times U1 is 12. Plus n minus 1, so 15 minus 1 times d, which is 2. If you'll type this on a calculator, 2 times 12 is 24. 15 minus 1 is 14 times 2 is 28. 24 plus 28 times 15 over 2 is basically 390 hours. So total 15 weeks, Ashley spends total 390 hours on her swimming. Second person, Billy. B part. Billy also trains for 12 hours in the first week. She decides to train for 10% longer each week than the previous week. Now this is a 10% than the previous week. That means first week it's at 12. So next week will be 12 definitely plus 10% of 12. So here show that in the third week she trains for 14.52 hours. So they don't want the sum, they want exactly in the third week she trains for 14.52 hours. So here U1 my 12, U2 is 12 plus 10% of 12. So U2 is equal to 12 plus 10% of 12 is 10 over 100 times 12. So this 12 and this 12 is common. If I'm taking 12 common from this one, 12 divided by 12 is basically 1. Whenever I'm taking common, I'm writing that quantity, common quantity outside of the bracket. I'm making a bracket. If I'm taking 12 common, here it is 1. Then there is a plus sign, this one. Then 10 over 100 because I'm taking 12 common. So 10 over 100. 10 over 100 is basically 0.10 plus 1 is 1.10. So my second week amount or second week training session is 12 times 1.10. Clearly this is not a arithmetic progression, or one hint is what, whenever they say 10% or n% of previous week, it is always a geometric progression. If it is a 10%, blind you write down 1.10. If it is a 7%, write down 1.07. If it is a 14%, write down 1.14. Right now it's a 10%, so 1.10. My first amount 12, my second week amount 12 times 1.10. It's a geometric sequence. R is 1.10. You don't need to show this part. You just write down 10%, so you just write down R is 1.10. Don't write 0.10. They want a third week. Third week means U3. We know the formula for geometric sequence is U1 times R raised to n minus 1. U1 is 12. R 1.10 is basically this. N minus 1, n is my 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. Type this full thing in a calculator. Now please make sure that you take 1.10 raised to 2 and then you multiply by 12. Don't multiply 12 by 1.10. This n minus 1 is only applicable for R. So first you take 1.10 raised to power 2. Whatever value you get, multiply by 12, you will get 14.52 hours. Do not round up because they want 2 decimal places. Now find the total number of hours she spends training during the first 15 weeks. Total, so that means it's a sum. Geometric, so this is the formula. In the formula booklet, they have given u1, Sn is equal to u1 times 1 minus r raised to n. I'm using r raised to n minus 1 or over r minus 1 because I know my r is 1.10, which is greater than 1. So I subtract 1 from bigger quantity. You can write 1 minus r raised to n. You have to write down here also 1 minus r. It's up to the same thing. So 12 is my u1. R is 1.10, n is 15 minus 1 over 1.10 minus 1. Remember that first you take 1.10 raised to 15. Once you get that, subtract 1. Whatever value you get, that you multiply by 12, divide by 1.10 minus 1. Otherwise, you type this full thing on a calculator as it is. Whatever answer you get on a calculator, please write down as it is. And then you round off the answer to 3 significant figure. Here first is 3, second is 8, third is 1. After that is 2, so we don't have to add anything. So your total amount is 381 hours. Last part. In which week will the time Billy spends training first exceed 50 hours? 4-mark question. So Billy exceeds 50 hours. So Billy is which week, that means it's a term formula, not sum formula. So un should be greater than 50. I know un formula u1, which is my 12. R is a 1.10 raised to n minus 1 greater than 50. You can do the trial and error, but I recommend use a calculator. So first you can see that in inequality, this you should type in y1 in a graph of GDC. This in y2 in a graph of GDC. Adjust your view window. Clearly I can see that my y value is greater than 50, so I'm adjusting this y value. You can see here more than 50, say 60 or something like that. And I know that I cannot, or here 50 hours, so definitely I will use something 20 or 30 or something on the x-axis. Adjust your view window if you don't see the graph. When you type this in a y1, this in y2, please write down this instruction using GDC graph. Whatever graph you are getting, please sketch this graph. Now I was using my iPad GDC, so I got this figure, but whatever graph you get on your GDC, please type sketch as it is. Label this, what is this graph? Label this, what is this graph? Label this, what is the point of intersection? Right now you can see here, but you have to write down this value over here. Once you get that, please write down the n value. I don't need a y value. It is clearly 15.9733, but it is greater than that. So definitely it is crossing 15.97, so it has to be n is equal to 16. So in week 16, Billy spends training exceed than 50 hours. Thank you.